everyone, good afternoon. So for today, I'm going to discuss about novel and its benefits. So first of all, what is novel? So novel is a long, fictional narrative usually written in prose. It is a complex literary form that explores characters, plot, setting, and themes in depth. Novels typically feature a central conflict or problem that the main characters must overcome. So the length of the novel is much longer than short stories or novellas. So in plot, it also have the beginning, the rising action, climax, the falling action, and the resolution. Next, the setting. So the setting, it is where the story takes place, and it is very important in a novel. Next is the theme. So the themes, it is about hope, loss, death, or it's either human condition. Okay, next, let us proceed with the benefits of novel. So first, we have escape and entertainment. So novels provide a portal to different worlds, allowing us to escape from everyday life and immerse ourselves in captivating stories. The thrill of following a plot, experiencing diverse settings, and connecting with characters can be incredibly entertaining and fulfilling. So yes, we can truly escape by reading novel. We can truly escape the real world. And we can better connect ourselves to, especially with the characters. And of course, diba, in a novel, there is more on entertainment. So we are entertained by the stories, and of course, entertained by the characters. Next, emotional intelligence and empathy. Engaging with characters' journey and challenges fosters empathy and understanding. We learn to see the world through different perspectives, develop emotional intelligence, and gain insights into human nature. So of course, in empathy, we can better understand the feelings of the characters. What is the emotions he or she is feeling in that certain story or novel? Yes, novel. So here we learn to see the world through different perspectives. And of course, we develop our emotional intelligence. Next, we have the cognitive benefits. The next benefits of novel is cognitive benefits. It is reading novels stimulates our brains, improving memory, concentration, and critical skills. So not just also focusing on this, but also better problem solving. Yes. So the act of deciphering language, understanding complex plots, and following characters strengthens our cognitive abilities. Of course, especially the plot, because it has its rising action, the falling action, the climax, diba? So there we can really concentrate and really think of the happenings of the novel. Next, language and vocabulary expansion. So novels expose us to a rich vocabulary and diverse writing skills. So yes, we can expand our vocabulary. And of course, not just that, our writing skills. So, kabalo na tang mo, sulat, and of course, the use of grammar. We learn new words, discover the nuances. So when we say nuances, it is the difference or variations. It is the tone or expressions of the language, and enhance our communication skills. Next, cultural understanding. Novels can provide a window into different cultures, historical periods, and social context. So by experiencing the lives and perspectives of the characters of a different backgrounds can gain, we can gain, an understanding, to broader our understanding to the real world. So, mas masabta nato, there ang ilahang perspective sa ani nga novel. Next, personal growth and reflection. Novels often explore universal themes and dilemmas, prompting us to reflect on our lives, beliefs, and values. So the characters' experiences and choices can really inspire us to make a positive changes in our lives, of course. So maka-reflect yun tag maayo in terms of the beliefs and its values na they are trying ipasabot nato. Next, stress reduction. Immersing ourselves in a good book can provide a welcome escape from stress and anxiety. So the act of reading can be calming or therapeutic. So it can also kanang makawala og stress and depression. So it is calming and you can really enjoy reading. Next, imagination and creativity. Novels spark our imagination, encouraging us to create our own stories, visualize scenes, and develop our creativity. So when we are reading, it develops our imagination. So if ma-develop ang atong imagination, di ba, after reading a book, we wanted to create our own stories, of course. And by creating that stories, we wanted to visualize scenes that will happen in our novel. And then in that way, when we create our own stories and visualize scenes, we can develop our creativity. Okay, so now these are the benefits of novel. And again, novel is a long fictional narrative usually written in prose.
Let's explore the history of novel. The history of novels started on the early form of ancient world and medieval period. In ancient world, novels are not like what it is now. It is more on storytelling traditions. For example, Homer's The Odyssey. It is filled with adventure, heroes, and gods. While in the medieval period, novels developed narrative structures and characterizations. These stories explored the themes of moral, love, chivalry, and morality, paving the way for more complex narratives. The rise of the novel started in 17th and 18th centuries. In this time, literacy and printing rise. More people could read, and a demand for new forms of entertainment and social commentary arose. They explored themes of realism, social commentary, and individual experience. In 19th century, there are two forms of genre in writing novels: Romanticism and realism. Romanticism emphasized emotions, imagination, and the individual. They focused on love, family, social class, and the struggle of individual in a changing world. A famous novel in the 19th century is The Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. In realism, they sought to depict life accurately, focusing on everyday people and their struggles. They explored themes of social inequality, psychological complexity, and the search for meaning in a world often devoid of it. In 20th century is a time of modernism and postmodernism. Modernism experimented with form, style, and narrative structure, often reflecting the uncertainty and fragmentation of the modern world. They explored the themes of alienation, loss of faith, and the subjectivity of experience, using stream of consciousness, fragmented narrative, and minimalist prose. Postmodern novels challenge traditional notion of narrative and reality. Their themes are often about history, identity, and the blurring of boundaries between fiction and reality. In that case, the history of novel began in 17th century in the early forms and lasted up to the modernism in the 20th century.
Good day everyone, I'm Nicky Luis Bolo from the Group 8 and my assigned topic is all about the different kinds of novels. So the first one is what we call the adventure novel. So this often involve journeys, quests, and challenges. So from the word itself, adventure, no, more on adventure din siya in which nag-involve ang journeys, na quest, na challenges, na struggles, na mga obstacles nga iatubang ang usa ka protagonist ani nga particular nga novel. No. So the protagonist in an adventure novel is the heart of the story. So the protagonist, no, they are the one who portrays bravery, commitment, and determination as they pursue sa ilahang story ana nga particular nga novel. Okay, so they are the one who drives the action, faces the challenges, and ultimately determines the fate of the adventure. No, so ang protagonist, no, they are the one who drives the action. Sila jud ang magpakita og bravery as well as determination to finish their mission or to pursue victory. And also, one of the example of the adventure novel is the Chronicles of Narnia. 'Di ba sa ani nga salida sa Chronicles of Narnia, naman siya movie, di na to makita ang pagka determined sa mga protagonist nga makuha nila ang ilahang victory despite sa mga challenges and struggles na ilahang naatubang. But at the end of the day, nakuha dyan po nila ilang victory because naman sila strong determination, bravery, and commitment. Okay, so the next one is what we call the fantasy novels. So fantasy novels are stories that feature magical elements, mythical creatures, and often takes place in a fantastical world. Okay, so fantasy, so it is more on mga magic, mga magical elements, mga witchcraft, mga mythical creatures, nga nag-takes place pud siya sa fantastical world, no? So ang fantasy novel, no, diha nato makita og how the author or the writer creates the story that he or she uses his or her creative imagination to fantasize things out. Kay we all know nga kita gani mismo maglisod ta og imagine sa mga butang nga out of this world, di ba? Only those ones who are gifted, but still naadya po yung uban mga ordinary nga tawo nga still maka-create sila og ilahang own na fantastic or that's what we call fantasy. Also, no, exploring themes of good versus evil character develop and the power of imagination. Yes. And also, one of the examples of the fantasy novels is ang Harry Potter and Alice Adventures in Wonderland. So, 'di ba? It is more on magical na sila mga witchcraft, na sila katong mga things nga lisod ko siya i-imagine or i-edit, but still na-capitalize bit Japon sa editor ang ilaha nga theme as a fantasy novel. Okay, so the next one is what we call the mystery novels. So, stories that involve solving puzzles or uncovering secrets. So, kani nga particular nga novel, no, dihin nato ma-develop ang ato ang critical thinking kay ga-involve mo ni siya og mga puzzles, no, di pag-solve na to og puzzles or pag-uncover na to og secrets. Dinhit nato mas ma-analyze ang usa ka novel kay ga-involve mo ni siya og crimes and also ga-feature siya og mga detectives or mga professional investigators in which, no, as a viewers pod, no, mas makakuha nato ang atong attention to listen more or to watch, to analyze things ug unsa yung nahitabo. So ang mystery novels, no, ga provide siya sa ato sa audience or sa viewers og mga things that we need to analyze kay yes, as I said earlier, ka-involve siya og crimes and mas maghatag po na siya nato og intense feeling or thrill, no, kay although it is a fictional pero makarelate dya punta sa real life. So examples ani di ay kay Nancy Drew and the Boxcar Children, which more on kuan dya po na siya, no, more on mystery, and maybe some mystery novels kay mag-remain dya po siya nga unsolved sa story, pero sa kung tuwa sa real life pwede na to mag-guess or ma-solve ang secret. So the next one is what we call realistic fiction. So stories that portray real life situations and believable characters, often dealing with everyday challenges. So ang realistic, no, from the words itself, realistic, it portrays a real life situation in which ba makarelate ta as a human being or as a viewers to the person or the protagonist into that particular novel. Although fictional siya, pero makarelate japon ta as a real human in dealing with his or her everyday challenges, and also it provides us lessons pod kay some novels, no, naman din siya hidden messages or lessons nga makuha nato throughout the story. So one of the example is the Romana Quimby, in which kuan to ni siya, bata ni siya, and makarelate ta sa iyahang story, although fictional lang, pero nadya pan siya lessons nga makuha. Yes. So the next one is what we call the historical fiction. So historical fiction are stories set in the past, blending fictional characters and events with real historical context. So ang historical fiction, no, it is a combination of real events nga nahitabo or event nga nahitabo jud sa history with a blend of fictional characters to make the story more understandable and interesting to watch. And also historical fiction aims to provide us the viewers on understanding kung unsa jud nahitabo ana nga particular nga event or era, kay syempre di man ta makarelate kay wa man ta ka agi or wa man nato na experience, but through the help of the historical fiction, no, although fictional ang characters, pero naa siya lessons nga masabta nato kung sa particular nga nahitabo ana nga panahon. The next one is what we call the animal stories. So animal stories are stories centered around animals, so often highlighting themes of friendship and adventure. So ano nga particular nga novel, no, dihin nato makatunan kay givalue man diri ang friendship ug adventure sa hayop ug sa tawo. So ani nga kuan, ani nga novel, no, diri gipakita nga it is possible for a human to communicate with the animals, no, just for example sa Stuart Little, no, din higipakita sa Stuart Little nga si Stuart makaspeak siya and gi-adapt na siya sa usa ka human family and gi-consider siya as a member of them despite nga usa siya ka mouse. So sa story pod, no, dito gipakita or gi-value ang paghatag og equality og respect sa usa ka hayop in which gidawat siya sa usa ka family and gihimo siyang member sa family. So the next one is what we call the science fiction or also known as sci-fi. Okay, so stories that explore futuristic concepts, advanced technology, and imaginative scientific ideas. So ang science fiction, no, some of it may be exaggerated kay pang out of this world siya, pang futuristic siya. Dinhi nga particular novel, no, pwede na diri ang time traveling, mga galupad ng sakyanan, mga pag-travel sa different spaces and different galaxies, no, dinhi ma-build ang kuan consciousness sa usa ka human nga possible di ay nga nahitabo ang particular nga butang with the use of technology, no. Diri mas i-emphasize ang gamit ang ang advancement sa technology sa ato as a human, no. Dinhi gi-portray sa author what are the possible scenarios or mga events nga pwedeng mahitabo with the use of technology. So that is why it is called a science fiction, no? Although fiction siya, pero possible siya nga mahitabo with the use of the human creativity and advancements with the use of technology also. One of the example of the science fiction is The Wild Robot by Peter Grom. So, din he sa Wild Robot, no, din he gi-emphasize on what are the possible events nga mahitabo kung ang robot ma misfire ang ihang system, but sa tuwagan ni karon natay ito og AI, and they continue Japan to pursue even though taas kayo ang risk nga ang robot may mo dominate na niya sa world, as they said. Next one is what we call the humorous novels. So, humorous novels are light-hearted and funny stories that aim to entertain and make the readers laugh. Okay. So, nga kaninga particular nga novel, no, it help us to be positive kay light-hearted naman siya, and it aims and it provides entertainment or comedy sa ato ano, and maybe it made us to forget our problems while nagbasa ta or nagwatch ta nga ani nga particular nga novel. So one of the examples of the humorous novels is A Diary of a Wimpy Kid series by Jeff Kinney and Captain Underpants by Doug Medley. So those particular novels, no, it helps us to smile, and it spreads positive energy nga despite of the struggles, no, it helps us to be positive at all the time. Okay, so the next one is what we call the classics or the classical novel. So, timeless stories that have been enjoyed by generation of readers. So, kani nga particular nga novel is exists like dugay na jud kayo, like 1950s below na like mga 1930s, 1860s na. So, di lang kita ang nag-enjoy ani nga particular nga novel nga karon na ang generation, but also katong mga past nga generations would also. So ka-exist siya like mo man siya pinakauna or nagama sa mga author, and it has been enjoyed, and it is our pleasure to have these classics, no, and naapod siya mga lessons, adventures atong makuha, although it is a fictional, pero it made us entertained po. Okay.
Good day, everyone. This is Danilo Ihara Rodriguez, and now let's move forward to another examples of novels, specifically here in the Philippines. So, novel in the Philippines often reflect the country's rich history, diverse culture, and complex social issues. Here are some examples of notable Philippine novels. First, we have Nole Me Tangere or Touch Me Not by Jose Rizal. It is a social and political novel exposing the abuses of Spanish colonizers and the Catholic Church during the late 19th century. So, No Limit Tangere by Jose Rizal is an example of historical novel and a political novel, since it focuses on historical events, settings, and characters, often blending real events with fictions. And next is that we have El Filibusterismo by Jose Rizal also. The sequel to Nole Me Tangere, it portrays the rise of revolutionary ideas as Ibarra, now known as Simon, seek revenge and justice. So El Filibusterismo by Jose Rizal is a historical, political, and social reform novel. It belongs to multiple categories based on its themes and content.
So next is that we have Florante at Laura by Francisco Balagtas. So it is a romance and allegorical poem in the 19th century, considered as a novel in verse. It highlights the themes of love, patriotism, and morality. So Florante at Laura, it is an example of a romance novel, since it focuses on love and relationship, often with emotional and dramatic elements. Alright, so again, when we say romance novel, it is all about love and relationship. So that is an example of, Florante at Laura is an example of romance novel. Alright, so now let's move forward to our next example, which is Dekada si Tinta by Luwalhati Bautista. So it is a story of a middle-class Filipino family navigating the struggles and repression during the martial law era under Ferdinand Marcos. So Dekada si Tinta is an example of social novel since it's explore social issues such as class, inequality, and politics. Right, so now let's move forward to our next example. Next is that we have Bata Bata Paano Ka Ginawa by Luwalhati Bautista also. So, it explored the challenges of being a single mother, addresses the societal expectations of women in the Philippines. Right, so this novel is an example of coming of age novel. It is because it focuses on the protagonist's growth and self-discovery, often transitioning from youth to adulthood. The next example is that we have Ilustrado by Miguel C. Hugo. So it is a multi-layered novel about a young writer unraveling the life and mysteries surrounding his mentor while reflecting on Filipino identity and history. Right? So the next example is that we have a smaller and smaller circle. So it is a crime novel set in Manila that follows two Jesuit friars investigating this series of murders in Pasay, or a massive landfill. So first and foremost, this novel it is a crime and detective novel. So it is an example of a crime novel. Alright, so now let's move forward to our last example of novel. We have Do Jitters by Jessica Hagedorn. So, it is a satirical novel that captured the chaos and contradictions of the Philippine society under the shadow of dictatorship. So, it is a satirical novel because it uses a humor, irony, exaggerations to critique societal norms or politics. So, that would be all, guys, and thank you so much.
Good day, everyone. Today, I am going to discuss how important to develop the sub skills of reading language, such as spelling, handwriting, grammar, and punctuation. This requires deliberate practice and the use of targeted strategies. So, first is spelling. So, spelling is the process or activity of writing or naming the letters of a word. It is a way a word is spelled. So to practice spelling, first is we practice regularly. Use spelling apps, games, or flashcards to practice frequently used words. So meaning practice regularly is that we constantly use our writing to spell words and to practice our spelling skills. Next is phonics and root words. Understanding phonics and the common prefixes, suffixes, and root word helps in predicting spelling patterns. So, as we know that when we are writing, we spelled and we know the patterns of what we spell the words, how we spell the words. Next is the learn rules and exceptions. Learn spelling rules. Example is I before E or except after C and exceptions of those rules. So now is read more. Exposure to well-written text helps internalize correct spellings. So as we read different texts from different books or magazines or anything that uh, we can read, we can practice our spelling skills. Okay. Now next is word list. So work on specific word list is like high frequency or academic words, and to test ourselves. So we do not we do not we practice more on different words so that our spelling will be advanced than what we are with but than what we have learned already. So now we're going to go to the next sub skills of writing, which is handwriting. Handwriting is a writing with a pen or pencil and a particular style of writing. So first in practicing handwriting is posture, and grip. To ensure proper posture, pen, pen grip, and paper positioning to avoid strain. So, how we posture, how we write our letters is important in practicing handwriting. So, next is letter formation practice. So, use handwriting books or tracing worksheets to practice letter shapes and sizes, both in print and cursive. So, as we learned in our elementary days, is that our teachers uh, practice us to write and to follow letter formation so that we can learn how to properly write the letters and make them beautiful for the readers to be attracted to. So next is slow down. Focus on performing each letter carefully before working on speed. So as we know, we we will practice more on quality of our written skills than the speed of our writing skills. So as we slowly develop our writing writing, we develop first writing and then next is speed so that the quality of our writing will be more developed and the speed will be done after we develop the quality of our writing. So next is writing exercises. Copy passages or practice writing sentences to develop fluency. Okay. So writing exercises is, for example, is that the in our elementary days we are going to follow lines, broken lines to write letters. So that is an example of how to what is a writing exercise. So now that we're done with handwriting, next is we're going to discuss about grammar, which is part of the sub skills of writing. Writing uh, written language. Okay. So grammar. So this it is the whole system and structure of a language or of languages in general. So first is first to develop grammar is to we should know the study rules. So learn the key grammatical rules such as subject verb agreement, verb tenses, and sentence structure. So as we go on our study, we have learned the different types of uh, language or grammar skills such as subject verb agreement, verb tense, and sentence structure to develop the uh, our grammar in writing, both in writing and speaking. So next is practice sentence writing. So write simple and complex sentences, then check for grammatical errors. So this is important in developing our grammar. So in in the course of our studying in elementary, especially in high school and in college, we have used essays to check the grammars, and the uh, correct process of words, correct process of sentences, either simple or complex, to know that the grammar is correct and the idea is given and the idea is given to the readers. That is important in how to practice sentence writing. So next is use grammar exercises. Complete worksheets or online exercises focus on specific grammar topics, or for example is articles, prepositions, is important for us to develop grammar. So grammar we can see it in the internet. We can practice our grammar skills in doing grammar exercises. We can do it in online. We can do it in the school, as we practice our grammar skills. So next is write and edit. Write essays or journals entries, then self-edit or use grammar checking tools to identify mistakes. So we do it all the time as a student in high school, in college. We do it, and As we do it, we learn and we self uh, we understand that there are many things that we need to develop in our grammar. So this is important. It's because that if it is wrong, your grammar is wrong, is you can reflect yourselves to make it better next time. Okay, so next is the last sub skills of written language. So the last is the punctuation. The marks such as period, comma, and parentheses used in writing to separate sentences and their elements to clarify meaning. So, to practice punctuation is to learn punctuation rules such as grammar. We learn the rules of grammar. Next is that we learn the rules of punctuation. So familiarize yourself in the correct use of commas, periods, apostrophes, and quotation marks and other punctuation marks. So we know how to use the punctuation marks in the in our written text, such as exclamation point. We use it to express surprise feelings or exaggerated emotions in the conversation, and we do uh, periods to s- to end a sentence, comma to connect a sentence, and question mark, as we know, is to know that our sentence is asking a question. Okay, the next is so to practice with writing. Use exercises that require you to answer the appropriate punctuation in passages. So, as we go on in our writing the text, we know that it is right to when it is right to put a period, a comma, a question mark, and an exclamation point. We do it all the time as we are writing our essays, um, writing our it says and many more. It is important. So next is reading aloud. Sentence read sentences aloud to hear natural pauses, which often indicate the punctuation is needed. So it is also important that before we write, we ourselves have to read it aloud so that we can know what is wrong with our punctuations, grammar. It is used in different parts, but it is really important to read aloud your text that is written to know what is wrong, what is right punctuation to be used in that sentence. So now that we are done with the sub skills, there are general tips to practice these different sub skills in uh, writing written language. So first is that daily practice. Okay, write regularly, and whether it's journaling, essay writing, or creative writing, to incorporate all these sub skills together. So another example of this is making a diary. Making a diary practice your writing skills, your grammar, your handwriting skills, and your punctuation as you go on and you explain how your day is going. So next is get feedback. Have a teacher, peer, or language to provide feedback on your writing to improve. Okay, so now is use technology. As we know, the technology is really helpful for us nowadays. So to utilize spell checkers, grammar checkers, and writing apps to support learning. Okay, so that will be all of our uh, sub skills of written language. So mastery in these sub skills comes with time and consistent effort. So it's important to practice each one individually and within the context of overall writing. Okay, so now we need to know the importance in developing the sub skills of written language, which is the spelling, handwriting, grammar, and punctuation mark. So it is essential for several reasons. So first is clarity and understanding. Mastery of spelling and grammar helps ensure that your message is clear and easily understood. Incorrect spelling or grammar can lead to confusion and misinterpretation. So, as we develop those sub skills, we have the clarity of our written works will be more clear to the readers, and it is also easily understand by the readers. So it is important that we develop those sub skills for better clarity and understanding. So next is effective communication. Good handwriting and punctuation help organize thoughts on paper, making it easier for others to follow and comprehend what you're trying to convey. Punctuation, for instance, marks pauses and breaks in sentence, aiding in comprehension. So it is also we can also give the idea easily to the audience as we go on in our written paper or written text. So it is effective to communicate our ideas to make the readers more engaged in reading our written text. So yeah, it is important in effective communication. So next is credibility and professionalism. Writing with correct grammar, spelling, and punctuation enhances your credibility. Whether you're writing for school, work, or personal communication, it reflects attention to detail and professionalism. So as we master the the sub skills of written written skills and language is we are we are credible to write papers, texts, or journals or articles that attract readers. So we are credible at what we write. We are professional on in writing text in terms of school or work or even personal communication about other people, and because it reflects professionalism in writing written text. Okay, so next is the cognitive development. So writing, including handwriting, supports cognitive development by improving fine motor skills and reinforcing connection between thought and physical expression. These skills are vital for overall literacy development. So, as we write, we use our hands to move and while to to write the ideas in our head. So it is the connection between the hand movement and our minds to develop to create a written text. So it requires the cognitive development. If you are good in writing and expressing ideas through writing, you have a good cognitive development in your mind. Okay, so next is the foundation for complex writing. So some skills like spelling and grammar serves as building blocks for more complex writing tasks, such as essays, reports, and creative writing. Mastery in these basics allows for better focus and content and style without being hindered by technical issues. So it is important to know the correct way of spelling, the correct way of grammar, the rules of grammar, the rules of punctuations, so that the foundation it will serve as a foundation to create complex text research, such as articles, such as to to cater the audiences, to attract the attentions, to give facts about what we write and to give our own ideas to the readers. So next is the empowerment and expression. With the sub skills are developed, writers feel more confident in their ability to express themselves effectively, enabling them to share ideas, arguments, and emotions in a more impactful way. So, as we learn how to proper as we learn sub skills like uh, grammar, punctuation, handwriting, and Written is we are more confident to share our works, to share our ideas through text, through writing, and it can empower a person in giving their ideas, in sharing their ideas to the other people. It will also improve their expression when other people acknowledges their work as a good and professional. It can improve the expression of other people to you and to yourself. So that is the importance of um, developing our sub skills. So, in summary, these sub skills are critical for building a strong foundation in written communication, enabling clear, precise, and effective expression of ideas. So, that would be all on my part, and thank you.